The time has come to receive the presentation from President Makoto Gonokami of the University of Tokyo. He will speak on the topic of the use of universities in SINET to drive the transition to Society 5.0 and the virtuous economic cycle initiatives at the University of Tokyo. President Gonokami, please. Hello everyone, my name is Gonokami of the University of Tokyo. I would like to talk about the universities driving Society 5.0 as well as SINET and the virtuous economic cycle and initiatives at the University of Tokyo. These are the two themes that I wish to speak on. First of all, I would like to mention the COVID-19. We are all struggling with this. This is something that has occurred simultaneously globally. Therefore, after COVID-19 has been contained, we have to consider what the society will hold for us. We have to be prepared for that. From April onward, at the University of Tokyo, we have made a transition to online. We made the decision in March and continued teaching. And we have started this in April. First and foremost, we were concerned whether university students could connect online. Everyone will be working from home as well as learning online. Therefore, 1,000 routers was prepared in March and provide this free of charge for the students. The next point was to deal with the copyright situation. Real-time lectures are not a problem, but if it is used on online basis, we have to discuss this matter with the copyright organizations. For the time being, for 1 year, it is free of charge. So that is how we have been able to start 1st April. 5,000 lectures are now provided online. When this is prolonged, we feel the need to have in-person class as well from April by taking appropriate measures for prevention of COVID-19. So slowly and gradually, we are seeing students come back onto the campus. We felt that if it was 10 years ago, it would have been interrupted. But because of digital transformation, we have been able to continue this. New services were utilized in the most effective way. This has proven to be very successful. Society 5.0, well, this is the fifth society, starting from the ancient times. We believe that the digital innovation is very important, and we were not fully prepared for this eventuality. But with the digital transformation, there has been disruptions that has occurred, and the value of things has shifted to intangible, such as data, ideas, and human resources. We need to provide a mechanism to support this. We have not yet completed this process. During this time, if we look at the world, there is enhanced unilateralism, and it is not necessarily the appropriate decision that we are pursuing today. But we have to change the course. What kind of leadership can Japan exert will be very important. By so doing, in the post-COVID-19 age, we will be able to enhance our global competitiveness. So this is the paradigm shift that is occurring. It covers the primary, secondary, and tertiary industries, but it is going beyond this category. With the digital transformation, there is a further accelerated digitalization, and we believe that the services appropriate for each individual can be enabled. Japan has been growing as industrial power based on mass production, automation, and was very important in providing high-quality products at low cost. This has driven the economic growth of Japan. But what is required now is tailor-made medicine and on-demand manufacturing using 3D sensors, as well as a smart agriculture. By utilizing data, a more accurate control can be exerted so that we can provide personalized service at low cost with maintaining quality. So what kind of society will this provide? The diversity of individuals will be increasingly emphasized, so more inclusive society can be achieved. In the second Abe administration, we have been discussing the 4.0 society, but with the digital innovation, the effective utilization will be the challenge for us. With digital transformation, what can we do? Enormous, voluminous data can be effectively utilized by AI, which will allow effective analysis. Inclusive society can be realized as a result of this effort. On the other hand, data will gather to the holders of data, so there will be increasingly monopolization of data. And if anything, the gap or the disparity could expand between the haves and have-nots. So we have to have all the regions participate, all the young and old participate, but we could go on to the reverse course. If it is just business as usual, then there is a possibility that we will go to the bad scenario. That is the reason why we have to have the will to select the right, benign scenario. And that is the reason why government, academia, and the private sector must work together. And we have led the world in the past, and in this era, we must also once again lead the world. Against this backdrop, I would like to talk about the unique initiatives that we have adopted. I became the president of 2014. This is the 6th year, so this is the last year for me as president. And at the Tokyo University, we want to establish at the June of 2017, when the designated national universities have been established, we have aspired to become a global center for the collaboration of knowledge. The necessary knowledge will be created out of the University of Tokyo, which is a grand goal for us. Synergies must be brought to bear for the whole university in order to achieve this goal. And that is the reason why we have established a Future Society initiative under the President's office. And the members of the headquarters are the heads of all the divisions in the University of Tokyo. So all faculties, all divisions are reflected in this effort. First of all, we thought about the future of humankind and the world. This was very much aligned with the SDGs. All the projects implemented at the university were registered at the FSI. Already 200 projects are up and running. For example, although it has been prolonged, we are poised to hold the Olympics and Paralympic Games. So, state-of-the-art research to understand the human body will be very important. This is very much related to SDG 3. 200 projects. I must identify which SDG it corresponds to. And you can see that all the projects are related to at least 2 goals of the SDG. In terms of physical science, state-of-the-art sport science will be accelerated for the top athletes, and top scientists are working together for physical science acceleration. With this type of technology, the impact on the body will be better if we gain insight from top athletes. and the accelerated research will be widely available for people going forward. Ventures nurturing is also very important for the University of Tokyo. We have about 400 venture companies out of the University of Tokyo. There are 17 companies that have listed, and top 15 has more than 1 trillion in terms of market cap. And so this is a very significant area for us. Young students as well as researchers are very keen to do venture companies, and they want to provide solutions for social problems.
Another important role that university can play is having collaboration with the businesses that support Japan. So collaboration with major businesses to promote this in a fully fledged manner. What we started doing is organization to organization collaboration. On the left-hand side, there is a graph which captures the current situation. And every year, there is a joint research projects between industry and university. There are about 1,400 contracts. And the bar graph shows the size of these contracts. And as you can see, some of them are most of them are millions of yen. The problem is not that these contracts are small in terms of monetary size, so the contents are more problematic. So businesses have certain issues and problems, and they want to work with certain labs to get the experiment data. They have to, for example, use reagents or buy equipment, so it costs, and in total it is 1 million yen, for example. And there is some question here. So to resolve that challenge for that business or industry, what sort of future growth I cannot realize? So the expectation and there is the value of the intelligence that the university can provide, but that value is estimated to be zero. So in the knowledge-intensive society, intelligence is very valuable, and universities are central to that. But in terms of collaboration with the society, that value is considered to be zero. To have a breakthrough in this kind of a situation, universities have to have a legal framework or structure that puts businesses at ease, and that's exactly what I've started doing. And another important point is that at businesses, they have to be able to make decisions at the top layer, and at the university level, top people have to be involved. As you can see on the right-hand side, there is a picture of myself and the head of Daikin. So the top management of both sides have to have the same understanding and make promises. By doing so, the intelligence provided by university can be justly appreciated. And the Daikin industry is a company. I was speaking to Mr. Inoue today too, and we are trying to put a value on the air. In October 2018, we took this picture. As you know, amid COVID-19, in the past, air was considered to be free, but now it is very expensive or valuable. In that sense, I think this challenge had some foresight, really. So this is organization-to-organization collaboration, and this is very popular today, fortunately. And as you can see here, first we started Hitachi University of Tokyo Lab, moving on to NEC, Tokyo University Daikin collaboration, SoftBank, IBM, and so on and so forth. So right collaboration is expanding. For example, SoftBank Beyond AI promotion organization should be created together. We talked about that, and 20 billion yen over the span of 10 years has been committed from SoftBank. Knowledge-intensive society, a paradigm shift is what I've been discussing with you, and this is a simple model. So far, capital-intensive society existed. The goods were central in terms of value, so tangible things were valuable. So fashionable and high-performance vehicles could fetch high prices. But now, what sort of solutions can be provided? What are the services? This is valuable today. So the source of value is data. Analyzing data is enabled by AI, and that is the new development. Of course, we live in the real world, so tangible goods are important. In manufacturing, there are some Japanese industry resources, and that's quite important too. When it comes to AI, the University of Tokyo has been conducting various activities. So AI's basic part should be utilized by more students. So every year we have invited people from related areas so that we can develop thousands of people who can use AI. And there are two initiatives we are taking. The first one is real-time data utilization. So data changes every now and then, second by second, and we should grasp that. And another important one is that what's important for AI is that there is this black box structure in AI. We don't know why it works. So I am in physics, and in physics, top talents have to be attracted. So that based upon physics principles, we try to understand how AI works. So there are many projects where you use AI to study physics, but principles of physics is about making understanding abstract things, so it can also be useful to understand AI. So we hold some students are also looking at the singularity. And another one, my expertise is optics and laser processing. If you try to understand this in physics, that is actually what my research is about. So if you apply laser to something, things can be shaped, and there is a complex materials that are quite complicated, and the processing that in the way you like is very exciting, but at the same time it's very difficult. And there are all sorts of different waves of laser, so the data can be collected automatically, and AI can be mobilized to analyze it. You cannot use a formula to simulate it, but you can have a very highly accurate simulation using AI in the laser field. So you can see the simulators here. And another thing to utilize data on a real-time basis, it is a SINET. For academic information, this is a public interest high-quality network. 47 prefectures have a 100 gigabit per second speed. What's important here is when utilizing the data, what's important is security. Optic fiber can use L2 VPN, which is very high quality. As a result, it is very eco-friendly. So Giga School concept exists, and there are 36,000 elementary, junior high, and high schools, and they are trying to connect to the network. And if this is possible, the whole of Japan can become a smart island. So Estonia and Singapore, e-governments, the Japanese digital concept is different from those e-governments, and disaster prevention because of climate change or global warming, this is quite serious, and real-time analysis is possible, and you can predict the flood that will take place in half an hour, and many people are losing lives in these disasters. So against such a backdrop, this is particularly relevant. And this time around in this event, there is a business plan contest participated by various universities. In the evening, there will be an award ceremony using SINET, how to conduct AI activities, and industry and academia are collaborating to create a brighter future, and university reform has been underway. This year will be my final year at the University of Tokyo, and in August, a global commons center was established. So as you can see here, environmental studies from that viewpoint, as a sustainability discussion has been had by certain people, and we collaborate with them. And just like us, a cyberspace is like a commons, so we are trying to link them to create a common knowledge. So we want to establish international framework as well as index. So ESG index should evolve more specifically in this way. By doing so, we can protect our commons, we can have an economic mechanism in place. It is a highly ambitious. Global Environment Facilities CEO Professor Ishii Naoko has been invited as the head of this initiative. So this is the final slide, and we have to cover various aspects to come up with a creative knowledge, and universities have to be part of that. And in terms of economic cycle, a university have to take a central role to create even better society. And the keyword here is data analysis. Thank you very much for your kind attention. Thank you very much, President Gonokami.